India wants strategic autonomy, and India wants an EV future, and India wants to be the voice of the global south. But it is all made in China. And this is not a joke, it's an actual industrial policy that came into action on July 1st. Let's start with the normal vision. Delhi has notified its EV policy for 2026. The idea is simple: accelerate electrical vehicle adoption, then create EV infrastructure, and basically go towards cleaner mobility.
Under the policy, electric cars get up to rupees 30 lakh full exemption from road tax and registration fees. Electric two-wheelers get subsidies of rupees 30,000 in the first year, rupees 20,000 in the second year, and rupees 10,000 in year 3.
This is not a small nudge. This is the government saying that the future is green and it's coming. And there is a compliance deadline. But who is making all of this? Okay, so if you're going to be pushing people towards EVs, you need one tiny administrative detail, and that is that you need EVs. And EVs are just not cars with vibes. They need batteries and magnets and powertrains and vendors and engineers and know how. And this is where it gets a little annoying because Chinese EV makers may be shut out of India politically, but their technology is not.
Tata Motors said that it will use Chery's platform to manufacture premium EVs in India. The company stressed that the deal does not involve equity and does not involve transfer of technology know-how to Tata. It is a supply arrangement. Routers also reported that JSW has a Chery linked arrangement involving about rupees 20 billion.
So, this is where Made in India becomes a bit more complicated because a product can be made in India, it can be sold by an Indian company, it can be pushed by an Indian policy, and yet depend on a Chinese platform underneath. We are not importing the car, we are just importing the part of the car that knows how to be a car. Okay, now obvious objection. Isn't this just globalization? Yes, this is. But this is globalization after everyone started pretending that globalization is over. The same governments who are now saying de-risking China plus one, make in India. The issue is not that India is using foreign technology. Every country does. The issue is that strategic autonomy cannot just be a slogan on top of somebody else's technology. Strategic autonomy requires design capability, replaceable suppliers, and manufacturing depth, and the capability to continue manufacturing and building even if one country says no. And then there comes the factor that the bottleneck is not always the car, it is even the magnets.
Routers reported that China's export curbs on rare earth materials and magnets caused anxiety among Indian automakers. These magnets are used in EV motors. China controls about 90% of global rare earth magnet production. India has the world's fifth largest rare earth reserves, 6.9 million metric tons. But Reuters says India currently has no reasonable short term alternative to Chinese rare earth magnets, and domestic production would take years.
So, Delhi can announce the EV future, companies could provide EV launches, and consumers can be offered subsidies. But between this beautiful clean energy transition, the entire thing looks around and asks, where are the magnets? Where are the magnets? And it is not just magnets, it's batteries too.
There was a Bloomberg report that Reliance had paused lithium ion battery cell plans after failing to secure Chinese technology. Reliance denied any change and told Reuters its battery storage manufacturing plans were unchanged and progressing well. So I'm not saying that the Bloomberg version is confirmed.
But even the dispute is revealing because Reliance said that it had been in discussions with a Chinese firm, Xiamen Lithium, to license cell technology, and then Beijing said
That there are export controls on lithium battery components requiring permits.
so. At this point, you may say, fine, keep China out. But that is literally what India tried to do after the 2020 border clash.
India tightened its investment rules to reduce dependence on China. That makes sense from a security point of view.
But then manufacturing reality entered the room carrying an invoice.
India is now offering faster approvals for investments with up to 10% Chinese ownership. Sectors like electronics, batteries, rare earth magnets, and processing can be cleared within 60 days as long as Indian residents retain majority control. Security screening remains. And the earlier corps had starved Indian manufacturers of capital and technology and even forced the shelving of $1 billion BYD electric car joint ventures in 2023.
So, India is not saying that China is fine. India is saying that China is risky but unfortunately useful. And who is not saying that? China is not saying that about India. Okay, so this is where I've got to be fair. It's not like India is doing nothing. It's just that India is doing it Augie and the cockroaches style, building the ladder while already halfway up the wall. We are building local capability.
India approved 29 proposals under its electronics component manufacturing program.
And this does include telecom, mobile manufacturing, and India's first ever project to manufacture rare earth permanent magnets from rare earth oxides. So, we do understand that the hard parts matter, and the thing is, China is offering speed. So, we are just taking it. And this is where it stops being just an EV story because China has released a paper in 2026 highlighting the new global order of which it is going to be the architect. Yeah, it does state multipolarity.
And that the United Nations is the central institution of global governance and greater influence for the global south. But that sounds very abstract.
But underneath all that diplomatic language, we are being told that China is a pole. It is a very big, important pole because it sits on top of the manufacturing system that many countries require for their own industrial systems. So I'm not saying that India should never work with China, and neither am I saying that made in India is fake. I'm just saying that it has levels. So the question is whether India is actually. So the question is how much can India actually control? Are we actually building a bridge to global capability, or are we renting a subscription model for the future? Do we have enough material depth to claim independence, and whether we can become a pole in the multipolar world, or are we just assembling it?